Okay, so today we're diving into something pretty unique. We're looking at the Japanese crypto scene, specifically how it's kind of different from the global one, especially with meme coins.
Yeah, and our main source here is a conversation with Sendo, the founder of ScamDunk from LiliTalk X Sendo. He calls himself a crypto gambler, which is quite a label.
Right, a crypto gambler from Japan. So this should give us some really interesting, maybe unexpected insights into Web3 over there.
Exactly. We're not just getting the usual overview. Sendo is an early KOL, a key opinion leader, so he's got that firsthand experience.
Okay.
His view might really challenge how we think meme culture and Web3 work together in Japan.
So our mission then is to kind of unpack those differences, see what makes the Japanese crypto space, particularly meme coins, well, tick differently.
That's the plan. Let's get into it.
All right. So, Sendo, how did he even get started in crypto?
Well, it sounds like it was around 2020. He'd been dabbling in stocks before that.
Okay.
And then the buzz around a Bitcoin halving, it caught his attention,
Ugh, the classic halving hype. A lot of people got pulled in then, didn't they?
for sure. It's a common story. But what's interesting is he admits he was, totally clueless at first.
Real?
Yeah, just bought Bitcoin and Ethereum, the main ones. Didn't really grasp how many other tokens were actually out there until he joined some online groups.
So, a bit overwhelmed initially.
Seems like it. It just shows how massive the crypto world can feel when
Yeah.
you first jump in, right?
Definitely. But it sounds like he learned fast, or got lucky. He mentioned turning a pretty small amount,
Yeah, like 20,000 yen. That's what, maybe a couple $100
something like that, and he turned it into 20 million yen.
in 6 months.
Wow, okay. That's that's astronomical. That kind of return definitely makes you pay attention.
Absolutely. You can see how an early win like that would really motivate someone to dive deeper.
And that led him to becoming an influencer, a KOL.
Sort of naturally, yeah. He was involved in running a bigger Japanese crypto community first. Then he decided to, start his own thing, ScamDunk.
ScamDunk. Let's talk about that name. It's pretty direct.
It is. And the reason, he says, was to fill a specific gap he saw.
Okay, what was missing?
Basically, a space in Japanese to talk about the really early, maybe risky projects, the trenches, as he put it, and also cold channels. Plus, getting news from overseas out quickly to Japanese users who weren't so comfortable with English.
Ah, so he was bridging that information gap, language barrier and all that.
Exactly. He saw a need for it, sharing info freely, teaching people about low-cap trading. That's how he grew his following. It really shows you how important catering to specific language and cultural needs is.
Makes sense. Now, this crypto gambler thing, he really embraces that title, doesn't he?
He does. Very openly says he's always seen crypto as gambling, especially during what he calls the Trump market.
The Trump market, meaning...
Seemed like it was all hype, crazy price swings,
Mhm.
very unpredictable. He felt it was less about fundamentals and more just, gambling.
And riddled with scams, he mentioned.
Yeah, that was part of his view, too. So maybe calling himself a crypto gambler is his way of acknowledging that reality, that speculative nature. It's quite an upfront take,
A bit cynical, maybe, but realistic from his perspective.
perhaps. It reminds us that not everyone is in crypto for the long-term tech vision.
Right. Which brings us to Japanese meme culture in Web3. This is fascinating. He talks about an invisible wall.
Yeah, between Japan and the global scene. And it's not just language, he says. It's the whole vibe, the culture.
And that means global memes often don't land. He mentioned PEPE.
Falls totally flat, apparently. Most people in Japan just wouldn't recognize it or get the context.
Wow. So what's huge globally can just be nothing there.
It really highlights how cultural context is everything for virality, doesn't it?
Right.
What's funny or relatable here might just not connect elsewhere.
Did he say why he does know some global memes?
Yeah, he mentions his background. He's a gamer, watching international streamers, so he picked up on some older stuff that might not be mainstream Japanese internet culture now.
So, if the big global memes aren't hitting, what is popular in Japanese crypto meme culture? Did he give examples?
He didn't really list current top memes, actually,
Yeah.
which is interesting in itself. It just makes you realize how specific and maybe even fragmented that internal culture might be.
Yeah, definitely a puzzle for anyone trying to engage that market. You can't just translate your global campaign.
Absolutely not. You need to really understand Japanese internet humor, the local references, what actually resonates there.
Okay, let's circle back to ScamDunk. He sounded a bit wistful about it.
Yeah, a little bit. He joked, everyone's gone. He admitted maybe his own absences didn't help it stay active.
Right.
But he also used this analogy like being a parent whose kids have grown up and left home.
Ah, Because the members moved on, started their own thing.
Exactly. They grew, maybe joined other communities. It's kind of the natural life cycle of online groups sometimes, isn't it? They
Hmm.
form, people grow, interests shift.
Yeah, that's a relatable feeling. Pride mixed with a little sadness, maybe.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
It shows these communities are dynamic, not static.
So when he's looking for the next potential meme coin, what's his strategy? Deep dives into white papers.
Nope. Forget that. He says it's much simpler.
Okay.
It basically comes down to two things. The visuals.
Like, does it look cool or funny?
Yeah. And is the ticker symbol easy to recognize and remember?
That's it, seriously.
That's what he says. Which I guess fits the crypto gambler mindset, right?
Hmm.
For meme coins, where there's often no real there.
Fundamental substance,
A catchy look and an easy name can be what grabs attention initially. It's about hype potential.
And he also said the meme itself needs to be widely known already.
Yeah, that helps. If people recognize it, they're more likely to buy in, thinking others will too. It's all about that shared recognition driving belief.
Less about the tech, more about the collective understanding or hope.
Exactly. It's pure speculation driven by social factors, not investment basics.
What about the community? Does that matter to him?
Yes, the community vibe is important for whether he decides to hold a token.
But not the team behind it. He kind of dismisses the team.
Yeah, he seems less focused on the team, which is definitely different from the usual advice, where the team is often paramount.
So what does that suggest about meme coins, maybe specifically in Japan?
Well, maybe for these kinds of projects, the community is the project, in a way. The collective energy, the shared jokes, that's what drives it. The team might be secondary if the meme itself is strong enough culturally.
Interesting. Different priorities for different types of assets.
Totally. It shows the market isn't monolithic in what it values.
Did he share any recent big wins to show the strategy works sometimes?
He did mention one, yeah. A token called Michi,
Michi.
M-I-C-H-I, said he got in around a $40 K market cap
Wow, tiny.
and rode it up to 10 million.
10 million from 40K. Okay, that's significant.
Huge upside potential, right? But he also laughed and said his timing on the exit wasn't perfect. Classic me, he apparently joked.
So still gambling, even with the wins, shows the volatility.
Exactly. Massive gains possible, but timing the peak is always tough, even for experienced guys like him.
Now, broadening out, what did he say about Japanese crypto users in general? Any unique behaviors?
He described the scene as kind of introverted.
Introverted? How so?
Didn't elaborate much, but maybe more privacy-focused, or just a more reserved online culture compared to, say, the U.S. crypto Twitter scene.
Could be. And trends. What's popular there now?
Well, he said dog coins used to be big, but currently, he wasn't really sure what the dominant trend is.
That's surprising for a KOL not to have a strong read on current trends.
Maybe it speaks to that fragmentation he mentioned, or just how fast things change. Past popularity like dog coins doesn't guarantee future success.
True. He does seem to have his own preference, though, right? Low caps.
Yeah, he's still a big fan of low-cap tokens, finds them super fun.
Even though he feels they're maybe underappreciated right now in Japan.
Right, kind of playing the contrarian within his own market, perhaps looking for those overlooked gems.
Makes sense. If everyone's chasing the same thing, maybe the opportunity is elsewhere.
Could be his thinking.
And when projects want to work with him, collaborate. How does he choose?
His main thing is just personal vibe,
Vibe, that's it.
pretty much. If he likes the project, feels good about it, he's open to collaborating. Seems quite open to different kinds of opportunities.
Seems subjective, but maybe that authenticity is key for an influencer. If he genuinely likes it, the promotion feels more real.
That's probably it. That personal connection can resonate more with his audience than just reading off talking points. Alignment matters.
Okay. So, advice for global projects looking at Japan. What were his key takeaways?
Number one, it's a small market, but very fragmented. Don't treat it as one single entity.
Got it. Fragmented and
And culturally, there can be resistance to new things.
Right.
So patience is vital, persistence too.
so don't expect overnight success. Need to build trust, show commitment.
Exactly. That's really valuable on-the-ground insight. I think you can't just parachute in.
What about his lifestyle now? Is he living the crypto high life?
Actually, no. Sounds pretty low-key. He mentioned enjoying time with family.
Nice.
And yeah, he still treats the trading like going to a casino. For fun, for the thrill maybe, but not necessarily chasing Lambos or anything.
Interesting. And no side hustles. No plans to launch his own token or expand ScamDunk massively.
Nope. Seems quite content being a solo trader, doing his thing. not driven by building a huge community for profit.
It's a different perspective, isn't it? Success doesn't always mean constant growth and expansion in this space.
Definitely shows the diversity of motivations people have in Web3.
And if project teams do want to reach him for collaborations in Japan,
Telegram. That's the best way, he said. Straightforward.
good to know. Direct line.
Essential in crypto, things move fast.
Okay. And he had one last kind of secret tip for projects, right? Especially early stage ones.
Yeah, he suggested Japan could be a bit of a hidden gem
Hidden gem, how?
in terms of potentially collaborating with KOLs like him for maybe lower budgets compared to other more saturated markets.
So potentially more cost-effective influencer marketing. That's a useful nugget for startups.
Could be worth exploring for teams trying to get a foothold there without breaking the bank.
All right, so wrapping this up, Sendo's perspective really opens a window, doesn't it, into how different the Japanese crypto and especially meme coin world can be.
Yeah, the big takeaway for me is that cultural divide. Global trends just don't automatically translate. Memes aren't universal.
And the importance of community vibe over there, maybe even more than the actual team sometimes, at least for meme coins.
That stood out too. Different priorities, driven by local culture, and maybe that introverted nature he mentioned.
It really does make you pause and think, doesn't it? How much deep cultural context shapes interaction with something seemingly borderless like crypto and internet trends. Maybe that introverted quality isn't just a surface thing, but reflects something deeper about how Japanese culture engages with new tech, with online communities. Makes you wonder what other cultural undercurrents are influencing crypto adoption globally, things we might not even see yet.